everyone. Today I am going to try to show you how I'm going to plant the tiny terrarium plants that I have here. I bought these at a little gift shop and they are indeed very tiny. I've always had a lot of good luck with succulent plants, and these are all succulent cactuses. We have a golden barrel cactus, a pincushion cactus, and a giant saguaro cactus, which I'm not sure that I believe that, but whatever. We're going to go through the process of planting these today. So let's first take a look at the golden barrel cactus. As you can see, it's a little teeny tiny cactus in there. It's very round. There's instructions on the box, which we'll go over in a moment. They had several different kinds of these, but I picked these three. It kind of talks about the contents here. There's a glass terrarium, a germination disc, golden barrel cactus seeds, which looks like it gives us the scientific name there, which I'm not going to try to pronounce. Let's read the fun facts. Fun facts. Apparently this type of cactus originated in central Mexico. It is known as the golden barrel cactus because of its golden yellow spines. It starts out spherical, then becomes elongated with age. Strong enough to once be used as a cooking pot. That's interesting. I guess that's before it becomes elongated with age. Next, let's take a look at the pincushion cactus. Looks like it might be a little larger, and maybe it has some flowers. It's a flowering cactus. Same instructions as before. And the fun facts. Native to southwestern United States and northern Mexico. The phrase pincushion cactus is a reference to the white spines all over the entire surface of the plant. And there are over 200 varieties of this species. So that's the pincushion cactus. And the last one, the giant saguaro cactus, which I've never seen an actual saguaro cactus. They can only be found in a certain area, from what I understand, in Arizona, the United States. And I've never been to that area before. Instructions. And fun facts. Originated in the Sonoran Desert in the southwestern United States. Known to reach heights of over 60 feet and weigh up to 20,000 pounds. It can take up to 30 years for them to flower, plus over 75 years to start producing branches. That is a long time. So there are our three varieties, and I have a cup for water, I have some teaspoons to use the water. I have some things to make the germination discs, and I have some plastic bags that the seeds would need for germination later on, and a piece of paper to guide the seeds into the tiny terrarium. So first, let's open the boxes and take a look at what's inside and organize our stuff. Those are some very, very tiny seeds. Very tiny. So I'll need to keep this seed with its box so I know which one goes with what. So those are the tiny seeds for the golden barrel cactus. The germination disc. A piece of tissue that is protecting. The very tiny terrarium. As you can see, it is tiny and it's glass. Seeds are even smaller than the previous. They almost look like specks of dust. The pink cushion cactus. And some more very small seeds. So now we have unboxed all of our items. So let's take a look at the instructions. I read the instructions previously and they are all the same for each type of cactus. Planting instructions. in a separate container, which we have 3 of those here. Add 1.5 teaspoons of warm water, which we'll put in here in a moment, to the germination disc and let the water absorb into the disc and stir. Use the handle of a plastic spoon to scoop your mixture into the terrarium. Crease a small piece of paper, then carefully pour your seeds into the paper. Use the paper to guide your seeds into the terrarium, I guess because they're so small. Place the terrarium in a sealed plastic bag, which we have here, and put them on a windowsill with bright light. Seeds will sprout in about 1 to 2 weeks, and we will need to water them well at least once a week. So that seems pretty simple. So let's prepare our materials. These plastic bags are a little difficult. I may need my assistant to grab a pair of scissors for me. It's a very stretchy plastic. Thank you. Okay, I think we're ready for our water. And according to the instructions, all we need is some warm water. So warm tap water should do well. I'll be curious to see how long it takes the water to absorb into these discs because they are very dense. Very, very dense. Thank you. So now we have some very warm water, and each of these will need 1 1/2 teaspoons of water. So we have our teaspoons here. 1 teaspoon and 1 1/2 teaspoon. So we'll just dip the water out. sure that we have enough water. That was 1 teaspoon. And let's do the half teaspoon. So let's take a look at what this looks like. It's the dirt. It's kind of absorbing the water. It seems to be. Might take it a minute. We might have to assist it. Maybe a plastic fork would be helpful to break that germination soil up a bit. Let's knock it over and let it absorb water. Let's go back to the first one. It's beginning to expand, and then a little bit, and see if it is indeed absorbing what it is. It's absorbing the water really well. Just might need a little tiny bit of extra help here. And I also don't think that it would be the worst thing in the world if we added a little extra water, just in case. So let's add just another little smidgen. This one's also beginning to absorb well. It's quite a dense disc there. We might add a little extra water to this one as well. This one seems to have absorbed all the water, but let's see if it's still dry on the inside. This one did very well. But to be safe, there's some dry spots on the inside that are hard to break up, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little more water to this one as well. Just a few little drops. Okay. And there we go. You can see it's beginning to take that water on pretty well. I think that probably over the course of time, these discs dry out more considerably in their little box on the shelf than maybe they really want them to. So Next, let's take a look at the instructions and refresh what the next step would be. Okay, we're going to use the handle of a plastic spoon to scoop our mixture into the terrarium, which I think we have plenty of things here that we could do the job with. However, I want to make sure that our soil is broken up enough first. There we go. And the last one. Okay, I think our soil is ready to be placed inside of the tiny terrarium. So, terrarium number 1. We're just going to use the other end of this fork. To make sure that we have the bottom of the terrarium at my thumb so that I fill up the bottom and not the top. And I think that might be enough. We need some room for our little cactus to grow. So, there's that one. And we have one more here. Maybe just a little more. think that one looks pretty full. And our final tiny terrarium. Just get a little more. And there we have our final tiny terrarium. So the last step is to crease a small piece of paper and then carefully put your seeds into the paper and use the paper to guide your seeds into the terrarium. I can understand that because you wouldn't want to lose these. So a piece of paper here. I may make this paper a little smaller. That should be able to fit. Like that. Okay, first, let's put these back in order so I can remember. First we have the golden barrel. And those are these very small seeds. We're going to open those up. Let me see how small they are. And I'm going to very, very carefully place these inside the paper. And you can see, there they are, and they're very tiny. And we're going to there we go. And the seeds are in there somewhere now. I hope they've gone back in there far enough. Let's try to nudge them back a bit farther. So, one's planted. Next we have the teeniest seeds of all. Were the seeds for the pincushion cactus, and they are incredibly tiny. I'm very nervous that I'm going to drop them. I mean, they really look like specks. So let's get those going here. 4 tiny seeds and some pieces of dirt that look about like the seeds because they're so very small. Okay, this time I'm going to aim to get them farther back into the terrarium. And that should be one more done. And of the 3 types, these were definitely the largest seeds. I guess because it's for a giant saguaro. Sounds like good logic to me. And there we go. Let's get these in their terrarium. There we go. So let's refer back to the instructions and make sure there's nothing else we need to do with the seeds afterwards. Apparently, as we use the paper guide to get our seeds into the terrarium. Now we place each terrarium in a sealed plastic bag in a windowsill with bright light. So we can at least take us up to the step where you place them in the plastic bag, and then the seeds will sprout in 1 to 2 weeks. Hopefully I can let you guys know how well this works. And we'll water well once a week. So let's go ahead and put these in their plastic bags, and then we can clean up. plastic bag, so let's clean up a little bit. Thank you for joining us, and we will let you know how our tiny terrariums turn out. Thank you.